Abuja for medical checkup to the United Kingdom. Health Organization advises federal government to convert COVID-19 isolation centers to emergency infectious disease centers for future outbreaks. Serap asks Buhari to probe spending on rehabilitation and maintenance of refineries since 1999. PDP dismisses claims of purported 2023 election timetable, describes it as fake. On the foreign scene, Ukraine's deputy prime minister says Russia is striking civilians, including hospitals. Good evening and welcome to News Round on Impact Africa Television, IATV. I am Bolabo Timoskol. The fourth batch of Nigerians evacuated from Ukraine in the face of the growing tensions with Russia today arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja from Hungary. According to reports, they were successfully evacuated following the intervention of the federal government with the cooperation of governments of countries neighboring Ukraine. Welcoming the returnees on behalf of the federal government, the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, Mustafa Ahmed, said a sum of $100 will be given to each of them. Ahmed ordered that the money is meant to assist them with their transportation to their various locations. He further added that a one-night accommodation arrangement has been made for the returnees to rest before continuing their journey to their homes. President Muhammadu Buhari has departed Abuja for his scheduled medical checkup to the United Kingdom. In a statement today, the special advisor to the President in Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, said President Buhari is expected to be in London for 2 weeks. Adesina had earlier disclosed that the President's return to Abuja from Nairobi does not abort his earlier scheduled routine medical trip to the United Kingdom. Buhari had attended the 50th anniversary of the United Nations Environmental Programme in Nairobi, where he called for broader collaboration amongst member states in the United Nations to combat climate change. The president also added that the ruling All Progressives Congress APC has the capacity to resolve its differences bordering on the forthcoming national convention. Still on health matters, the Nigerian Institute of Human Virology has advised the federal government to convert the COVID-19 pandemic isolation centers across the country to emergency infectious disease centers for future outbreaks. Speaking with newsmen today in Abuja, the Chief Executive Officer of the Institute, Patrick Dacom, said the isolation unit will ensure that healthcare staff and centers are equipped to deal with infectious disease outbreaks. Dancom says such centers can be converted to function as high-level isolation units for any infectious diseases even when the COVID-19 pandemic is over. He noted that the methodologies used for behavioral change to combat coronavirus can also be used for other diseases. It will be recalled that the federal government had, in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, improvised and created the best possible equipped isolation centers across the country. Away from that, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has disclosed that another batch of amendments to the 1999 Constitution will soon start. Gbajabiamila made this known while speaking with newsmen in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. The lawmaker noted that there will be more devolution of power from the exclusive to the concurrent list in the new amendment. According to him, both chambers of the National Assembly will harmonize the amendment and also send to the state houses of assembly.
Devolution of powers. No, that's restructuring. I think there were about five or six items where we devolved powers from the exclusive list to the concurrent list, and that's a form of restructuring, a major form of restructuring. Correctional services, stamp duties, and so on and so forth. And the local government autonomy is also a form of restructuring, and I believe that the constitutional amendment is ongoing. There will be a second batch of amendments that will come up very soon. I don't know when, and then we'll have a wholesale look at the remaining sections, and then we can talk even better on the issue of restructuring. I believe there will be some more devolution of powers from the exclusive to the concurrent list.
It's important, especially with the background of the debate going on in the National Assembly on gender issues. We need to have more women on the table making the decisions. We'll keep pushing the envelope and make sure, like other states emulate Kwara, where we have passed the bill into law, 35% for women in political appointments. We spoke about this issue with the Right Honourable Speaker, and I will continue to engage the National Assembly on that matter.
The Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) and the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees (NULGE) has called on lawmakers in the National Assembly to vote in favour of autonomy for local governments and judiciary in the ongoing constitutional amendments. The president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Ayuba Waba, made the call during a protest to the National Assembly in Abuja. He stated that the autonomy of the local government is paramount to strengthening democracy for the effective delivery of good governance and national development. Also, the majority leader of the House of Representatives, Alhassan Dogawa, while receiving members of the union, assured that the House remains committed to the welfare of the Nigerian people and deliver on its expectations. Also, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Labour, Senator Godiya Akwashike, further stressed the need for members of the union to visit the State House of Assembly to also vote in their favor.
Senators and honorable members, one, to support the ongoing process of constitutional amendment, and to reiterate the fact that on 3 core issues, we want the National Assembly to vote unanimously in support of those issues. One is the autonomy for the local government system. The local government system, if allowed to work effectively, it will address the mirage of challenge that is affecting the Nigerian society. Today, local government system is in the pocket of few. In fact, the allocation to local government has become pocket money for the boys. We want that to stop. We want a system where in administration, in finances, even in the election, there should be a process where there should be full autonomy for the local government. The second issue is the judiciary. Judiciary cannot dispense justice free, fairly, without the autonomy. He who pays the piper will continue to dictate the tune. And therefore, we want the judiciary to also be independent so that they can be able to dispense justice free, fair, and to the best of their ability. If they are allowed to be running cap in hand, to be begging money to maintain the courts, you are sure that we are not going to have justice that is free and fair. And lastly, is for the parliament. There is the principle of separation of power, where the 3 arms of government are supposed to have separate power, separate authority, and separate autonomy. And therefore, we are aware that the state houses of assembly have been under also some siege to the converted. The 4 issues raised by the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, as mentioned here, have been succinctly captured in our report, which is right now before the House of Representatives for final consideration. I want to assure you that the House of Nigerian people, the House of Representatives, under his leadership, Right Honorable Femi Bajabiamila, will not renege in our commitment to continue to deliver on the expectations of Nigerian people. We will continue to deliver on the promises we have made to our people during the electioneering campaign. And I want to say also, without fear of contradiction, this is one only time in the history of the National Assembly. It's one only time in the history of the Nigerian Labour Congress when the Labour and the House of Representatives are working on the same page.
In another development, the Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project SERAP has called on President Buhari to direct the Attorney General of the Federation and anti-corruption agencies to probe the spending on the 4 refineries in the country. In a statement today, the Deputy Director of the group, Kolawole Oluwadare, asked the government to order a probe into the alleged corruption and mismanagement of public funds budgeted for the rehabilitation, operation and maintenance of the refineries since 1999. Oluwadare was said investigating and prosecuting the allegations of corruption and mismanagement in the spending on the refineries is consistent with constitutional guarantees and international standards. He added that such move will also galvanize public support for the federal government's anti-corruption crusade. According to him, the alleged corruption and mismanagement in the oil sector, importation and distribution of adulterated fuel, and the protracted fuel scarcity is a fundamental breach of constitutional and international human rights obligations. Oluwadare lamented that the actors deprive Nigerians of economic opportunities and subject them to a cruel and degrading treatment. Motorists and passengers have appealed to the federal government to find lasting solutions to the issue of fuel scarcity. Those who spoke with Impact News Crew said the unavailability of fuel has further led to increase in transportation fare and untold hardship for passengers who have to trek long distances. Anu Akomolafe completes the report.
Last few weeks, Nigerians have grappled with fuel scarcity, which according to the federal government is due to inspection failure, which allowed adulterated products into the country. The crisis has led to increased cost of transportation and many were stranded at bus stops. IBR News Crew visited some motor parks where it was noticed that it was not a beehive of activities as usual as a result of fuel scarcity and increase in transportation fare. Passengers lamented that as the ongoing scarcity of petrol continues to bite harder, passengers are stranded at motor parks.
The thing has been so bad, it affected me badly that, see, I'm traveling, but the fare that we used to go at a low cost has increased so much that we are getting stranded on the road. In my budget, your plan of like 2,000, you'll be going to the park, it will reach like 5,000 or 10,000, so it's making people feel bad.
Some park managers who spoke with News Crew described the situation as worrisome.
So
things is very hard these days. There's no light, there's no fuel. You cannot even expect somebody that has been collecting like 1,000 from Lagos to Ibadan and be buying a fuel at the rate of 162 naira before, buying it at the rate of 200 naira, 250 naira now, and be collecting that same amount, you understand? So the set amount got to be increased. So that is the problem on ground. So people are just struggling, striving, hustling to just make things done. Because when you have people at home, you have to come out and take things, back to the house. So you have to just do things in order to make money.
They appeal to the federal government to act fast and resolve the impasse.
My sister, I can't even express myself about this. It's so painful to every citizen of Oyo State, even Nigeria as a whole. As you can see, we are the one that we are producing fuel. As we hear when we are in small age. Until now, something that we are producing and we are still suffer for it. For how long? It can't be continued like this in this country. This is out of hand. Please, my only plea to the government is that maybe they should find something to do about this before this thing gets out of hand.
While fuel scarcity in the past has often revolved around increased pump price or subsidy removal, the latest scarcity bites on Nigerians' heart, says a new entrant, adulterated fuel. Anu Akomolafe, IETV News.
As petrol scarcity continues to bite harder, residents of Abeokuta have lamented the hardships they undergo to carry out their daily activities over the past few weeks. In a move round the state capital, it's observed that filling stations hardly open even as petroleum pump price varies. In an interview, the chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress in the state, Emmanuel Bankole, said the body saddled with pump price regulatory has compromised.
So anytime for me now, because what I buy, that's what I use to get my service done. And you can expect me to buy a fuel of 200 per litre. You should expect me to buy me a haircut for 500 naira, 300 naira.
The truth of the matter is that as Nigerians, I as a Nigerian, and as Nigerians, we are fed up with this government. That's the bitter truth. It's as bad as we don't even have government in this country again. That is the more reason why we see some of. In fact, I would say that the futures of our children and the incoming generation nobody can say whether they have the future in this country anymore.
If the government can work on our refineries, I think that would be the best solution at this point in time. You know, we have refineries, they are not at full capacity working. It's not easy exporting crude oil to outside country and importing refined products. So it's at the government expense and the suffering of the masses. So I would just advise the government to work on our refineries to be working perfectly so we can end up this thing in time.
Yeah. It is their response to move out and ensure that people are not cheated. Where are they in all this scenario? You don't see them anywhere. Highly compromised people. So we will respond appropriately. I can assure you in the days ahead, because we cannot continue all this.
The Osun State government is called on residents of the state to continue to support the present administration as considerations bordering on their well-being are prioritized in its program and policies. Speaking today at a town hall meeting in Osogbo, the state capital, the special advisor to the governor on civic engagement, Olatubosun Onyitiloye, disclosed that policies and programs of the state government are tailored towards bridging the gaps between the government and the people. He noted that the state government will continue to create a platform for getting feedback to ensure effective policy formulation through civic engagement. It will be recalled that the state government had, in a bid to further expand resident access to lending their voices to government policies and programs, launched a web platform.
It's about people. We want to be seen as running an inclusive and participatory government. We want people. We want this government to be seen that all of us, whether in and out of the state, we are stakeholder in government program, in policy formation. We just don't want to create law for people. We want people to be part of the process of forming a policy, because it's a law is not meant for animal, it's for people. So you need people to be carried along in your programs so that it can be acceptable. They can be seen to be part of that program, and once they are carried along, there will be no shortcoming or resistance to such a policy or programs of the government.
I know that in furthering to this website, the whole world, the Osun is now open to the whole world. I'm sure that Osun indigenous and citizens, home and in diaspora, will be happy to witness this day that we are witnessing. This is historical. It is something to be remembered for a very long time.
In another development, residents of Oloko Alaraba community in Oluyole local government area have appealed to the Oyo state government to help recover their stolen transformer worth millions of naira. They made the call during a protest to the governor's office in Ibadan. Anu Akomolafe completes the report.
Members of the Alaraba Community Association, Oluyole local government, and residents trooped to the Oyo State Governor's office to express their shock and seek assistance as transformers worth millions of naira were stolen overnight, thereby throwing the community into darkness. According to the chairman, Alaraba Community Association, Mr. Onifade Sunday, the community has not been enjoying power supply for some time, which prompted residents to contribute 15,000 naira each towards the purchase of transformers.
Àwọn olè wá àwọn agbẹ́ transformer méjì ní Olúyọ̀lé ẹgbẹ́dẹ́ àtúbà local government àjàǹfààní ìjọba rárá àwọn tó ajẹ́ lẹ́kẹ́ abẹ àkàndá àmú ni transformer tàyà àwọn olùsanwó ẹ̀ owó white tension àwọn olùsanwó ẹ̀.
Other residents of the community appealed to the Oyo State government to come to their aid to recover the stolen transformers.
We saw some people that came to our area in the midnight and they took the two transformers that we bought by the community. We want government to come to our area and see how we are suffer in that area. We don't have good road. The bridge on in our area was carry people yearly, every year. That is when it's falling. It will carry people at least 4 at times. We wrote letter to the chairman, local government chairman, Honorable Setu. He did not attend to us at all.
We want government to assist us because we don't have good road, no water, no anything, no hospital. no light. We want government to assist us.
Responding, the executive assistant to Governor Makinde on security, Sunday Odukoya, who addressed the protesters, appreciated the people for the confidence reposed in the Governor Seyi Makinde-led administration.
They came this morning in large numbers, and my attention was drawn to them. And I went there, spoke to them, and I even asked them, because if a crime is committed in a particular area, the first point of contact should be police station. But because of the confidence they have in His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Seyi Makinde, FNSC, made them to come. They were saying it categorically that they have more confidence in him than going to report at anywhere. But nevertheless, we accepted their complaint, and we have advised them accordingly on what to be done. Even I placed a call to the chairman of the local government where they came from. He promised linking up with me any moment from now.
He pleaded with the people not to take laws into their hands, stressing that proper investigation will be carried out to ensure the recovery of their transformers.
The matter will be referred back to the police for proper investigation. Transformer is not something one can just steal. It has serial number, and they have all the documentations with them. So with that, they will surely recover it. They have spoken with their leaders. They are going to present their letter officially on Monday, which will be endorsed to security agencies for necessary action. And we have even advised them not to put laws into their hands. They should be calm, and their matter will be looked into accordingly.
For residents of Oloko Alaraba community, the provision of basic amenities is something they want the government to look into. Anu Akomolafe, Impact Business Radio News.
The People's Democratic Party (PDP) has dismissed claims of a purported 2023 election timetable, describing it as fake. In a statement, the spokesman of the party, Debo Ologunagba, said the schedule of activities in the 2023 will be made known after due consultations and approvals by its relevant organs. Ologunagba noted that the PDP is a party of due process and will release a timetable and schedule of activities for the year after extensive consultations. He called on members of the party and the general public to discountenance the set timetable and schedule of activities. Ologunagba also urged Nigerians to remain focused, adding that the party will not be distracted in its mission to rescue and rebuild the nation. Following the assent to the electoral bill by President Buhari, a governorship aspirant on the platform of the People's Democratic Party in Ogun State, David Bangboshe, has expressed optimism that democracy is taking root in Nigeria. Bangboshe said the signing of the bill shows true transfer of power to the people, which is said is the main purpose of democracy. While commending the National Assembly for the patience, he hailed the electronic registration, voting and transmission of voters' laws in the bill, stressing that it will eliminate ballot snatching, violence, thuggery, among others.
To get our electionary processes right, the people who are elected into office will begin to do what people want, because if you don't do what people want, you'll be removed. Let me tell you, one of the provisions that is a watershed in that bill is the electronic accreditation of voters and electronic transmission of voters. That is, you are not just coming for biometric, recognition. It takes all of your facial structure and everything to authenticate that you are the real voters that is coming to vote. Now, number two is that we have eliminated the opportunity of ballot snatching, violence, thuggery, because right from the polling booth, election will be transmitting to the collation centers. So there is no need for anybody carrying ballot from point A to point B to point C. Okay? So and it's real time. It's real time. As people are voting, it is being transmitted, and it's going to the collation. We cannot rule out cyber crimes, hacking of electronics, the digital devices, but that's a matter for another day. We are going to be improving on our procedure as we continue. This is a watershed. I commend President Muhammadu Buhari and his team, the National Assembly, for their perseverance and patience to come out with this bill that is going to revolutionize electronics. Election, bring electronic, balance to our voting in Nigeria.
It will be recalled that the President had written to the Senate to amend the recently signed Electoral Bill 2022. Buhari urged lawmakers to consider the outright deletion of the section which calls for the resignation of political appointees before party primaries. Buhari noted that the provision will amount to disenfranchisement of political appointees. We'll go on a break now. News Round returns shortly. Do stay with us.
Welcome to Adelayo Academy, an astute citadel of learning dedicated to raising future leaders.
Adelayo Academy, a co-educational school with day and boarding facilities, is committed to instilling virtues needed to make a headway in life.
Our science laboratory is equipped with state-of-the-art facilities that makes learning very easy for students.
Our teachers are highly trained and up to the task of passing down knowledge in the most easy-to-learn ways. As you all know that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, our playground is top class and we take physical health exercise very importantly. Located in a very conducive environment in the heart of Ibadan at Adelayo bus stop, Alagba Wakajaye, Iyano Church.
Adelayo Academy is the best option when it comes to giving your words a quality education.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Mommy, Daddy, I want to attend the Adelayo Academy, please.
Thank you. This is the school we have been looking for.
Admission form is obtainable at the school premises, Adelayo Academy, Wakajaye Yano Church, Ibadan, or Impact Africa Television, IATV, Impact House, Kolapo Ishola Estate, Yano Church Road, General Gas, Akobo, Ibadan. You can also visit the school website on www.adelayoacademy.org or call 0805 947 9449 or 0706 091 0776 or 0810 965 2215. You can also call 0805 527 5583. Adelayo Academy, developing character, competence, and confidence.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Round on Impact Africa Television, IATV. Now the rest of the news. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has expressed worry over the indifferent attitude of Nigeria eligible voters towards the newly created polling units. Speaking at a meeting with relevant stakeholders in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, the resident electoral commissioner, Altairu Madami, said electorate are not moving their voting point to the newly created voting units as expected. Madami explained that the new polling units were created to decongest the existing ones and allow for more political participation. He appealed to political parties, civil society organizations, and the media to further enlighten eligible voters on the new developments.
And that is the reason for today's stakeholders. We are asked all the reps to go back to hold stakeholders meeting so that people can move from the old polling unit to the new polling unit. That was the essence of the creation, to make it closer. But they are not taking advantage of it. So this time around, we are asked to go back and sit with the community at the ward level. See, your name is in the social ward. There are social polling units, which is closer. We'll transfer you there automatically. So that at the end of the day, before election, we have at least 400, 500 people. So we decongest the polling unit. 1,000, more than 750, 3,000. Our essence is defeated.
INEC has not officially lifted ban on campaign activities. We are warning you not to do anything that will heat up the state by engaging on political campaign at this point, utterances or publications.
The Inspector General of Police, Usman Babas, urged the commissioners of police across the country to strengthen their leadership capacity and operational strategies in dealing with crimes-associated issues. Baba gave the charge in Abuja during the monthly meeting with senior police officers in the country. Baba charged them to raise up to the anticipated internal security challenges ahead of the forthcoming 2023 general elections. According to him, the elections could set the stage for increased criminal activities, especially political and economic-related crimes. Baba re-emphasized that while the stop-and-search strategy is an invaluable anti-crime tactic, it should be conducted with extant police protocols to ensure civility to members of the public. He further commended police personnel across the country for their resilience, courage, and loyalty to the country.
That the force could further be challenged by the enhanced political activities that are associated with the upcoming 2023 general election. The import of this is that beyond our routine anti-crime activities, we have to be prepared not just to deal with politically related infractions that could ensure, but also with preparations ahead to guarantee the security and credibility of the elections. In due course, we shall be engaging in activities that will fully prepare us for the effective performance of our roles in the election, part of which would be to liaise with the leadership of the Independent National Electoral Commission, the Nigeria Bar Association, civil society organizations, and the Nigeria Police Legal Chamber towards dissecting the provisions of the Electoral Act recently amended. This is with a view to ensuring that all our activities are situated within the dictates of the Electoral Act 2022. Indeed, there are still areas of grave concern as well as developments that will undoubtedly task our strategic leadership capacity as the year unfolds. One of such concern is the conduct and attitude of our men, especially police officers on the field. I have continually been inundated by complaints of excesses in the conduct of our men on patrol or on stop and search duties. And I have personally had the cause to drive around, in the course of which I witnessed some of these illegalities, particularly in relation to roadblock and stop and search. I want to re-emphasize that while stop and search strategy could occasionally be an invaluable anti-crime tactic, such should not be done without requisite approval and must not be a permanent strategy. It must equally be conducted with excellent police protocols, which emphasizes civility to members of the public and must be laced with the highest level of professional decorum. Such must not also be turned into an avenue of extortion.
As the challenges of insurgency and terrorism continue to have great impact on national development, Nigerians have called on the federal government to do everything possible to put an end to the menace. This has denoted that many lives and properties have been lost, with a large number of citizens rendered homeless. Taiwo Olariwaje completes the report.
The challenges of insurgency and terrorism in Nigeria have a great impact on national development. This is as Nigerians are faced with the activities of terrorists in northern states such as Yobe, Borno State, Adamawa State, Taraba State, Zamfara, Bauchi, Kaduna, Katsina, and Kano now extends to Niger State, a border state with the Federal Capital Territory. Many lives and properties have been lost, with a large number of citizens rendered homeless. Speaking on the challenges of insecurity in the country, a security analyst, Adekunle Elijah, said the current security structure is not working. He called for restructuring from the federal, state government to ensure an effective security architecture.
We lie to ourselves. We don't want to say the truth. And that's the number one problem we have with insecurity in Nigeria. And we have to come to a point where we have to acknowledge that the current security structure is not working. We need to actually restructure, go down to the state level, the local government level, to have effective security in place from people who are on ground, people who know what's happening. But this unitary security structure is just hypocrisy, where you bring somebody from Abuja who does not know anything about Oyo State to come and implement a security architecture that the people around here cannot relate with.
Elijah also called for the removal of internal security from the nation's exclusive list.
Remove internal security from the exclusive list. Because now that is on the exclusive list simply means it is a primary duty of the federal government. It should become everybody's responsibility. So that's we know the truth, but part of why they will not want to do these things is because some people benefit from it. That is what keeps them in power.
On his part, a concerned citizen, Adibayo Michael, said Nigerians are fed up due to the security challenges, even as he prayed for God to intervene.
We don't have a rest of mind. We are fed up. The government has been taking step one way or the other, taking step one way or the other, but this doesn't stop this evil, this problem. But I'm praying to God for God to intervene, because we don't know what to say again. Because this country, just like we are living, a sheep that are living among the lion.
They urged the federal government to beef up security in all parts of the country, curb the menace, and declare a total war against terrorism. It is therefore high time the federal government seek assistance and advice from the international community. Taiwo Olanrewaju, IATV News.
On the foreign scene, Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister Olha Stefanishyna has raised alarm that Russia is striking civilian targets in Ukraine, including hospitals, nurseries, schools across the country. In a statement today, the Deputy Prime Minister noted that after a strong resistance from the Ukrainian army, Russia now carries out an enormous operation against civilians. She accused Russia of a terroristic plan with attacks coming from the air and also by land. It will be recalled that the World Health Organization had earlier announced that health facilities have been attacked. The organization, through its Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus, also confirmed several attacks on healthcare in Ukraine, causing multiple deaths and injuries. In the meantime, a barrage of Russian missiles today destroyed a civilian airport in central Ukraine. Speaking with journalists, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said the airport was completely destroyed. This is coming after several cities and air bases in Ukraine have been bombed, shelled, or hit with ballistic missiles since Russia launched its invasion. To end the news, another look at the major items. Fourth batch of Nigerians evacuated from Ukraine arrives Nigeria as Buhari departs Abuja for medical checkup to the United Kingdom. Health Organization advises federal government to convert COVID-19 isolation centers to emergency infectious disease centers for future outbreaks. And we're told the Serap asked Buhari to probe spending on rehabilitation and maintenance of refineries since 1999. PDP dismisses claim of purported 2023 election timetable, describes it as fake. On the foreign scene, Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister says Russia is striking civilians, including hospitals. Many thanks for watching. I am Bolabo, Famous School. Good night.